I've got to think, Matt, that some of those AP and coaches poll voters are not necessarily projecting how good they believe this team's going to be, but there's a bit of conservatism of thought that this team was 4-8 last year. They're going to have to prove it to me. I'm not just awarding some 4-8 team a top 10 status in the country because they've acquired all these players and a first-rate head coach.
I think that's entirely fair, and that is the fundamental skepticism that USC is going up against. In many ways, though, Mark, I'm focused more on the ranking of Oregon. Like, how are you ranking a Bo Nix team ahead of a Caleb Williams team? I mean, people saw Bo Nix at Auburn, and of course, every once in a while he becomes Harry Houdini, or he becomes, 1975 Fran Tarkenton, and he makes something out of nothing. And once in a while, Bo Nix can be absolutely incredible, but on a snap per snap basis, you measure him against Caleb Williams. I mean, that is a Grand Canyon size difference in quality between two quarterbacks. So, that's an indication that people think very highly of Oregon's roster if they think Bo Nix is not going to drag that team down. And another thing while we're talking about the AP poll, Pittsburgh not only lost Kenny Pickett, and it not only lost Jordan Addison, but it lost Jordan Addison to USC. Pitt is only 3 spots behind USC in the AP poll at 17. USC's 14. So did people think that Pitt was an objectively better team than USC with Jordan Addison aboard? That seems to be the conclusion. And I mean, if Jordan Addison leaving Pitt and going to USC puts USC only 3 spots ahead of Pitt, I mean, that is an eye grabber. And it also means that people think that Keaton Slovis, who, let's be honest, it might not be a reflection of his actual quality. He was hurt in 2020 and 2021. Nevertheless, he is being accorded a lot of respect with Pitt being a top 20 choice in the preseason AP poll. I mean, Pitt is being given a lot of credence for a program which is losing a first-round NFL draft pick at quarterback, is losing a future first-round draft pick, Addison, at wide receiver, and also doesn't have Mark Whipple. And I mean, Frank Cignetti is a clear downgrade from Mark Whipple as offensive coordinator at Pitt. Man, the poll voters are giving Pat Narduzzi a lot of respect based on one especially good season in which everything came together just right. So USC, measured against Bo Nix in Oregon, measured against a Jordan Addison-less Pitt team. I mean, those are the kinds of things that make me say, yeah, there's a lot of enduring skepticism about the Trojans, and it does go right back to your point. They were so awful last year, and people aren't convinced they can make that much of a jump. As I have said, as the counter to that point, the Pac-12 was bad last year, and so this is a conference waiting to be taken by a significant talent upgrade, such as what we've seen from USC. That is what gives me the confidence that USC can storm through this league, get an 8-1 record. And if they get the 8-1 record, they're going to be in the conference title game. They're going to play for the conference championship, and we'll have all their goals in front of them in early December.
I also think, Matt, that there's generally 2 different approaches to preseason polls by individuals. One would be that they are simply ranking who they believe to be the 25 best teams in the country, regardless of who they play. I believe this is the best team in the country, the second best team in the country, the third best, all the way to 25. And others look at the schedule and say, it's a really good team. This is probably a top 10 team, but man, that schedule's brutal. I'm going to rank them 23rd or whatever. This team is a cupcake schedule. Therefore, I'm going to elevate them. So it's just, I don't tend to look at it as a prediction, but many do. And they're basically saying, I believe that this is going to be the conclusion of the season.
Oh, I think in most cases, that's probably true. It's just fascinating that are people looking at just the brand name? Are they looking at the helmet? Are they looking at the school? Or are they really actually studying these rosters a little bit? Because I think that if you study these roster changes that have happened at places like Oregon and Pittsburgh and USC, to put Oregon first and to put Pitt, just a couple spots behind USC. I mean, just that doesn't seem to mesh with the actual facts on the ground.